Okay, so looks like we are live. Hopefully got some sound going on in Factorio. Looks like everything is going good. So yeah, what are we doing today? Better robots. There's actually a few things. So the main thing we're going to be focusing on is better robots, but also we went very, very long in the previous stream making both purple science and pink science. So that was one hell of a stream, but we got them. Now, the unfortunate thing is we didn't actually have a chance to get them trained, and we don't actually have enough in either station to train them yet, but... Excuse me. We do have the trains set up, so let's get... I only need one train for each, but let's get those trains actually set up. And then... Okay, apparently... we haven't got the unload station set up either. Okay, so I think that's the first thing we have to do then, is get the actual unload station set up. And I have thought about updating this base a little bit, making it a little bit nicer, but I think it's fine for now. I think we should be able to fit in everything. We could move a lot of these things around, give ourselves a bit more space, but what we're going to do is here, like so, just send that all the way over here, and then like so, just a very tight little main bus sort of deal. It's probably not the best way to be doing this, to be honest. What I might do is I might just send that one up there, and then this one can go down like this. And this one goes like that. It's kind of... You know what? So a part of me really wants to redo this entire setup because it's just so janky. And we still got yellow signs to go. So you know what? I think I'm gonna redo it. We're gonna redo it from about this point downwards, because otherwise it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and more terrible. It does mean putting a whole bunch of these science packs away, like in the logistics network, but we've already got a chest set up to handle them. I did not mean to destroy that. Yeah, okay. So we're going to move these over by a few places, and then we're going to have 4 more. So we got red, green, blue, military, pink, purple, yellow, and white. And then there are a whole bunch of other ones, but we're not going to worry about that. So apparently that only stretches over 3. So we'll just put another power pole over here. And do that. Do that. And do that. And then we also need to clear all the science off these belts because they're going to be in the wrong places now, but that should be absolutely fine. Okay. And unfortunately, that's going to take a little while because there is a serious amount of science that needs to be picked up off all these belts, but the construction robots weren't doing anything else, so that should be fine. And we're not researching anything at the moment, so yeah. I did have a couple of things I wanted to optimize over here, had a look in between streams. One of them is, you can see this guy running out of bronze quite a bit, so we're going to upgrade this particular inserter. This one should be fast enough. It looks like it might not be fast enough, but I mean, it's 2.5 per second, so that one should be enough. Should be fast enough, I think. And yeah, it's the belts which are really slowing us down, so upgrading that inserter should make a bit of a difference. This is also sometimes running out of the brass things, but to be honest, there's not much we can do about that because we're at the limit of the inputs that we're actually sending in. So the only way to increase that is to either make a second red belt coming in or upgrade this to a blue belt, and I don't think we're going to be doing either of those. So we'll just make that optimization. That one should be fine. Over here, it's just a case of the chemical plants, and the chemical plants are just low on the brass pipes. So I think what we're going to do here is just put another 2 of these guys over like that. You go up, over, and down. And there we go. So that's taking us up from 10 per second to 15 per second, which will completely fill up the yellow belt, and I don't even think we need that power pole. So, increasing our pipe production by 50%. This one's not using a lot, actually. It's using 7.5. If it's running at full speed, that's 7.5. Part of it is also, I don't know, I feel like, oh, this is gears. Yeah, we could improve this, put a few more gears on there, because this is 5 gears per second and this one requires 15. But, I mean, assemblers aren't the problem compared to chemical furnaces. So chemical furnaces are the ones that we really need to improve, but we've kind of done that. So maybe later we'll sort of come back to that, sort that out. But for now, this is no longer slowing down. This is now doing great. And this one is slowing down because of the brass, which is what it is. Okay, so if we go back over here, we can see that we've got everything beautiful at the moment now. Yeah, in terms of how to actually do this, I'm a little bit unsure. I'm not sure there's a really nice way to make this happen. Okay. Alright, so we got 6, and then we're going to have 2 more sciences. So you go like that. You go like that. Let's see how much room we're actually working with. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it looks like we have enough room to do this. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. Okay, so that's going to be enough space to do it properly. And then this one goes out like that. And then this one goes out like that. And then this one goes out like that. And that one's at the limit. So I think we need to do a red underground here. But that's it. That is absolutely beautiful. That's a much nicer way of doing it. Okay. And we'll just sort these belts out later. But we can place them down now. No, that's not what we wanted. Beautiful. Okay, so red, green, blue. Yes. Military, pink, and purple. This one is definitely pink. Okay. So now all we have to do is that, and then that. And I'm actually going to do the split over here as well, just to give us an option of putting some more loops later on. Not that we'll need them, but just to give us the option. Okay, nice. Beautiful. That red one might take a little bit of time to get placed down, but it's for space science, so we definitely don't need it at the moment. And now we're just waiting on some actual science to get placed. Oh, excuse me for that. So we're about halfway to getting a full train station for both of those stations, so we'll just leave them in the background. And one thing that I want to do other than actual bots is titanium. Now, we're not actually going to produce a lot of titanium, but as you can see, titanium processing is a trigger technology for a lot of science. Like, okay, maybe not that one, but for this one, a lot of science that is just using purple and pink. Especially purple. It seems to be a trigger tech for a huge amount of purple technology. So we'll get a little bit, we'll craft 10 titanium plates. Now, obviously we don't have the technology to make pure titanium yet, so we're going to have to use the crystallizer, which is sapphirite or crotinium. I think we're going to use sapphirite because this requires sulfuric acid, whereas this one requires hydrochloric acid, and I don't want to mess around with that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do it remotely, I think. Now, we don't have this. We're not actually making sapphirite chunks anywhere. So we're just going to chuck it down here. We're just going to take a little bit of the crushed. And we're not, this is like one of the few places we're actually still making it. So we're just going to put a little bit in here. And then we'll get rid of that later. Good afternoon, SWAT. Yeah, I'm doing okay. First day back at work. A little bit tired, but I think, yeah, a couple of hours of Factorio should be a nice break. And then we'll just see how we go for the rest of the day. Alright, so we go over here. We have sulfuric acid. We've actually got sulfuric acid right here, and we've got purified water right there, so we can do whatever we need to do. So we're going to get a flotation cell right here to chunk these guys, and that is going to be using a blue chest. That'll be bringing in crushed sapphirite. And then the sulfuric wastewater, which we could probably just feed into something, but I'm just going to vent it because it's easier in this particular situation. And then we do a long inserter. How did that become... We do not want a filter for that. Or maybe we do want a filter. And then we're going to need a new building, which I think we've probably made. The leaching plant. Leaching plant does this. Sulfuric acid. Chuck that in there. Give me a power pole. And that's sapphirite crystals. And then to sort the crystals, I'm guessing we're going to need a level 3 ore sorting facility. And yeah, that's titanium. And then we get ourselves a nice silo to get all that stuff out. And then to actually get titanium. We have to look at this. How do we actually get titanium? I think even level 1 titanium is a bit of a pain in the butt. So, yeah. Chlorine gas. Who decided that was a good idea? Chlorine gas and carbon. Titanium tetrachloride. Yeah, okay. Thankfully, this is pretty simple, but it seems like we will need a bit of carbon and a bit of chlorine. Well, we know how to get chlorine. We're doing it over here. We could barrel some of it over. I don't know. I really don't want a whole bunch of barrels sort of messing around with my setup. So what we might do is we've got... Where did I put it? I'm getting so lost. We've got this little process here. Let's make that a passive provider silo. And then over here, we need a... now we need a process to get the titanium ore, which I think was a chemical furnace, was it? Yep. Chemical furnace. And request a chest for titanium ore. And we'll also get some carbon in there. I don't think we need to do anything special to get carbon. Hopefully there should just be tons of it lying around. 1.6k just lying around the logistics network, so we'll just use that. And then the next step is going to be another chemical furnace and then a blast furnace. Okay, beautiful. Another chemical furnace and then a blast furnace. And we'll loop it around here so that we can use the carbon to fuel the blast furnace as well, which makes things nice and simple. Okay. That gives us ingots, and then we just need this and that. Okay. There we go. That should be titanium done. And what we could actually do is we could make this a passive provider chest and just leave it there. And because we just leave this process, just let it run in the background if we really want to. And we're just stealing a little bit from here and there. Eventually this chest will fill up with gems and stuff like that. But other than that, and eventually this will fill up with a whole bunch of crap. But we could actually get a fair bit of titanium just off the side. Just completely off the side, and maybe we'll find something useful to actually build with it, which will be nice. Okay, so that should take care of titanium. We'll go back and we'll double check that in a little while. These guys are waiting for 8K. And in terms of productivity, yeah, I don't really see any red anywhere. This one seems to be going pretty well. This one is going pretty much full speed, I'd say. Quite surprising. I would expect it to run out of this stuff again, but seems to be going full speed. And these guys are fully backed up. So yeah, this is going quite fast. And over here, the chemical furnaces, I think they've gone a little bit faster, but not too much faster. I think the chemical furnaces are still the thing that's slowing it down. Although we've got a bunch back there, so assembly machines, low on the reds, low on the gears. We could do something about the gears. I mean, pipes are pretty good. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to double this. Yeah, there we go. There's a bunch more gears. And I feel like we'll make this a red belt as well. And I feel like we'll need another one of these. Except you are going to be dropping here. There we go. So that should improve this a fair bit. As long as the steel holds up, which I think the steel should hold up. I think so. I'm not too sure about that, but I don't think we're almost using a full yellow belt at the moment, but not quite a full yellow belt. So, yeah. Okay. So as far as level 2 robots go, we got 5,000 logistics, 6,000, over 6,000 of these. So we're going to go over here and we're going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this off. And the reason we're going to turn these off is because right now it is checking for total robots, so it'd probably be okay, but I don't want to risk putting any more in there. I think I'm happy with the amount that's in there at the moment, and we're just going to upgrade the existing ones. So what that means is that we're going to be building... Now, do we actually have those goods in here? Alright, so we got batteries. We haven't yet... Well, we haven't got engines or electric engines in here yet, and we kind of need both of them. So let's get both of them here. Because, yeah, I think there's some pumps that are waiting on electric engines. And I don't think I'm going to have belts for this stuff. We could have belts for this stuff, but it's kind of a lot. Like, we need to do the construction robot tools, the logistics robot tools, the robot brains over here, and we need to make the module cases, and we need to make this flying robot frames. And I think I will actually want to upgrade the roboports. Now, I did have an idea that I wanted to get rid of 3/4 of the roboports and excuse me, actually just replace them with this, because it's got double the supply area. But I think what I actually want to do is replace every single roboport 1-for-1 with a roboport 2. And the main reason for that is bots. So if you go over here, for example, there's a lot of robots charging up. And if you hover over it and look down the bottom right, you can see the energy going up. It's going up at a rate of 500 megawatts. So 500 kilowatts, I should say. So 500 kilojoules per second, which is why it's charging so slowly. It looks like it's charging fast, but basically this thing has the potential to produce 2.1 megawatts, and it charges 4 robots at a time. So each one gets 500 kilowatts. Now the robots, when we upgrade them from level 1 to level 2, they will use an estimated 20, 30, 40% more electricity. And the energy capacity goes up by about 50%. So they'll be faster, but they will require more boost. So with the existing robots, the existing roboports, the new robots will take 4.5 seconds to fully charge instead of the 3 seconds they currently take. And they'll need to be charged about the same. But if we upgrade the roboports, then instead of doing 500 kilowatts, we're doing 2.5 megawatts, and instead of taking 4.5 seconds, it will take less than a second to charge a robot. So you can see all of this spray, like this is not a direct line from here to here. There's a lot of spray, and most of that spray is robots branching out to the nearest unoccupied roboport to get charged. Like they're doing a line directly from there to there, and yet some of them are going all the way out here to get charged. That's because the roboports in the middle of the line are so overworked. So yes, we could also put some of these guys, these robot charging areas, and they do a lot more charging than a roboport for the same area. But I think we'll just upgrade these for now. Just upgrade to level 2 roboports on the entire network, and yeah, that should fix our robot charging. Or we just ignore the problem all the way until we get to nuclear robots. We just ignore it until we get here. Because then these guys don't require any charging whatsoever. And this is not actually, it's not super far away. Like Logistic Robots 4. It's not that far away. Like we take, this is going to require titanium and then nitinol, which is the thing above titanium. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to upgrade my roboports because, yeah, as I said, they're not going to require charging eventually. So it's kind of a waste. But every robot does require the previous robot. So it's not a waste to go to level 2 robots right now. Like the level 3 ones require level 2, and the level 4 ones require level 3, and then the nuclear ones require level 4. So definitely worth it to go all the way up there. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to try and leave this area blank, and we'll try and do some stuff up here. So let's go ahead and build some stuff. Actually, How are these? Yeah, we'll build it up here. So that's going to be this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, let's just make 5. 5 should be enough. We'll upgrade these guys. And if we make 5 of these, yeah, that's 5 every 20, which is 1 every 4. So we need about yeah, you know what? Let's make 10 of them after all. And then what we can do is we can make 5 of these. And that's a 10-second. And it takes 1 module case. Where are our module cases? That also takes 10 seconds. Okay, so let's get a bunch of those. 3, 4, 5. Should see some goods being delivered up for here. Very nice. And then finally, we can make the actual tools. Construction robot 2. So that only takes 2 seconds. So we only really need 1 of them. And for the logistics robot, again, 2 seconds. We only really need 1 of them. And maybe I should have upgraded these goods. Maybe I should have done that. You know what? 200 for the logistics robot tools and 200 for the construction robot tools. Okay, that's a much bigger number. This one will just make... I mean, if you make it too big, it doesn't really matter because... it's still going to be used at the same rate. You just got to make sure that you make it big enough that there's always enough there. And then the robots will have a very big swoop in where they deliver everything. And then after they've delivered everything, they'll just need to top it up depending on its speed. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to make you guys a 2 stack. 8, 9, 10. And then you guys are going to be a 5 stack. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you guys are going to be a full 10 stack. Alright, beautiful. So, then we've got the actual progress. Now, this is going to be a bit slow because we've still got 90% of our logistics robots doing stuff here. But also need... what are you low on? Okay, so they do have some stuff being delivered. I'm not sure if the engine trains have actually showed up. They have. Alright, beautiful. We need some of these, please. That's solder, right? We didn't get solder before. It doesn't look like it. Not sure where all these buildings have been getting solder from so far. Probably nowhere. Yeah, see, this guy is totally idle. Totally idle. Oh, you know what? We're going to... okay. Did not want to do that. I only wanted to upgrade the assembler, but alright, we'll just leave it for now. Doesn't matter too much. Okay. So we'll start to see a few of these, and then we need a row report, which this row report looks pretty good up here. And we'll just have one guy making... we'll start with the logistics box. And this one is going to have 50 logistics robots at all times, 50 red ones. And then we need a requested chest over here. And we'll do that. And that'll grab any loose logistics robots that happen to be in the network and throw them in as well. Okay, so if we have a look here, I wish they would tell me the exact number. So I've obviously yanked out at least one and chucked it in there. We're just waiting for the brain. Why is the brain not appearing? This is waiting for plastic. This is just waiting for the brain. Did we not deliver plastic? Maybe we missed out on plastic. That's alright. We can station unload some plastic. Definitely got that available, so it should be easy to chuck in there. Okay, done. Plastic. And then we need a similar one over here. Yeah, similar one over here. So this is going to be robot requests for construction. This is going to be for make sure we got the right ones in there. And should be Bob's your uncle. Don't have any robots yet. Oh, there we go. One logistics robot too has entered the network. Good luck seeing it because there's so much chaos going on here, but yeah. There's our level 2 robot. Yeah, just waiting. They're just waiting. I'm not sure where that plastic came from, but we are getting some brains. Now, can we do this? If I do this... That robot's not leaving. Okay. I thought maybe doing this would mean that the robot, it would make sure, oh, any construction robots automatically. Because the problem with this process is that eventually it'll fill up with 300 or so construction robot 2s. And if we're not doing any construction, then they'll just stall. And that's not good because it means the entire process starts stalling up, which is not what we want. So I'd really like that row report to be cleared out of everything except these construction robots. We'll see how we go though. We'll see how we go. We'll just let it run for now, upgrading the robots. 8.5k should be enough for a train. I guess I didn't actually set those trains up yet, did I? No, okay. Science, pink. Full cargo, pink unload, empty cargo. Okay, run that. Goes immediately to load. Very, very nice. Okay, and then... So yeah, this is beautiful. Science. Load full and unload empty. Refuel and depot done. And it's going straight to load as well, so I guess we got enough purple. Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay. Let us go check on this titanium process. This doesn't look good. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Had to be right at the start of the process. We were missing a power pole. Alright. Okay. That should get sorted soon enough whenever a bot gets over there. I don't think there's much chance of seeing that one fast logistics robot, but eventually, once we've got a few hundred of them, we should be able to start seeing. Look at how they're doing all this crazy stuff over there. Look at how far they're having to go to actually get recharged. Okay, so I think we are going to have to put a few of these large robot charging points. Maybe we can get away with some of these, but yeah, some of these just around these sorts of areas. Because otherwise the robots just have to spread out really, really far just to get recharged. Yeah. It looks like they do require the previous versions. Yeah, so we'll get onto that. And we've got the titanium going, which is nice. We'll have research going very, very quickly. Ooh, 10k pink science packs. That's very, very nice to see. Waiting at load. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to potentially do is fix up a lot of this train loading. Now, we're going to get some science, but I'd also like to upgrade the bulk inserters, because we've got better bulk inserters now. Kind of, yeah. We definitely do. So we've got express inserters and express bulk inserters. And I'm going to actually make a lot of these and make a lot of these. And what we can do is we can go into our... We'll create a new upgrade planner. We're actually going to do this. Go away. From fast bulk inserter to express bulk inserter. And we take this upgrade. And we go like that. And it's done. And then we go to station unload like that. And it's done. Okay. And I don't think there was anything else that needed those. Okay, beautiful. And then what we can do is we can take that upgrade planner. And if we do this, that is 4,300. But, so over time, it's going to take a while, but that is going to increase our train load and unload speed by about 50%. And that's not even including research. So the research that we're about to do is going to make a big difference as well. Okay. Beautiful. Not sure if we're over-saturating these belts, but we will see. Looks like we've got, well, we got plenty of science just sort of stored in the ether from where we destroyed all these belts. But it'll slowly get destroyed by this process. Very slowly, but it'll still get done. Okay. So, bulk inserter capacity 5 and 6. We can get both of those with pink science. That'll give us an extra 4. Might as well get a tool belt. Can't get regular inserter capacity yet. Worker robot cargo size we can get. It's another +1. That'll be a huge deal for the logistics robots, which are currently taking a long time. And then lab research speed. Might as well get that. And then after that, it's pretty much just a case of get whatever you can. Braking force. Very, very nice to get our trains going a little bit further. But yeah, basically these inserters right here, currently doing 1 + 5 at 864. So we'll be increasing that by 4. So they'll be doing 10 instead. So if we actually have a look at some of these stations, it's doing approximately 100 per second to offload. And when it loads it, it's about 70. So 70 and 100, which is nice. And once we get the research done and we start actually upgrading those inserters, it is going to be quite huge. How much are you requesting? 40. That should be enough. Maybe this... I think I've upgraded all these as well. I didn't realize this blueprint had a bulk inserter, but we'll save that. And I want to kind of upgrade that machine as well, but I think we need a special one because otherwise we just upgrade everything, and I definitely don't want to upgrade everything. Blue. Okay. Beautiful. And we might as well... Yeah. 232 machines. I feel like that's a good idea. Not going to go so far as to do that for the entire base. That's a bit over the top, but... Yeah. We can see we already got the capacity bonus, and this has already gone up to 130... So it's already gone up by like 30%. And then for the next one, it's... yeah, because, I mean, train unload speed is actually... Train load speed and train unload speed is actually an issue. It's actually slowing down our base quite a bit. Train spending a lot of time loading and unloading. Like, example right here. Like, it looks like it's unloading really fast, but that could be being done much faster. All right. There we go. We're up to about 160. And these inserters haven't even been uploaded. So 160 plus, that's going to be 240 items per second. Which is... So we're going from 100 to about 240. Just with those 2 researchers and upgrading the inserters. And that's 1200. So if we have a look at inserter... The top level bulk inserters are almost double the blue ones that we just set up. And once you start really stacking up bulk inserter capacity, which is an infinite tech, I mean, 500 items per second, 1,000 items per second. There's no limit. Obviously, at some point, the science starts to go through the roof. But we're building a mega base, so that isn't really a problem for us. Okay, let's have a look. 80 robots so far. Can we actually spot the fast ones? I can't really see any yet. There's some that look a little bit faster than others, but it's a bit hard to tell. I think it's just when they start going in an angle. Oh, is that one? That's one. There we go. Look at that. That little dot right there is not actually that much faster, but it is you can see it's definitely catching up to a bunch of other robots. And then it just stopped, and it takes a bit longer. But it's definitely going faster. Okay. About 50% faster. Alright. Yeah, I definitely think we need to get some extra charging parts. Like down here, it doesn't matter because there's emptying out those chests. Once all the chests are emptied, they'll never really go down here again. Okay. What's the deal here? Got a bit of titanium. You're out. Let's make that 2,000. And if we go over to here... Research a technology using production science packs. Okay. Nice. Maybe we shouldn't be stealing this off the science build? No, not the science build, the iron build, but yeah, I'm sure I can handle it. I'm sure it can handle it. Alright. So we do have a little bit of titanium, and 23 of it is being picked up. And I'm not sure of the exact math here, but yeah, that's like multiplied by 5, divided by 5. And then I haven't even set a recipe for you yet. That's 1-to-1. That might be enough. That 23 might be enough already. Well, somehow we got 2 in there. I don't know where that 2 came from, but yeah, the other 23 might be enough for that trigger tech. But let's have a look here. I'll be very nice when this process is over, when we've finally emptied out all of these chests, because they've been taken way... I mean, we are moving like 100,000 items from one side of the base to another using level 1 robots. But that's another great thing. See, these have a cargo capacity of 3 plus 2. These guys only have 1 plus 2. So getting them up to blue gives them an extra 2. So we're going from the 2 we were at the start of this episode to 5, which is very, very, very nice. We have a look over here. Yes, this one's starting to back up with the fancy ones. This one's not backing up at all. It's actually not running as fast because there's no logistics robots going in here. Huh. That's a bit of a flaw. I mean, with things settled down, it won't be a problem, but I guess right now... Where are these logistics robots? Where are they? They should be getting in here. And these inserters over here... Low on brass gear wheels, which... I mean... Okay, low on brass gear wheels. Well, upgrading these machines will make it a little bit easier, but still. Okay, let's get faster trains. And let's just start researching everything. We may have to start looking at... what was I going to say? I can't remember. We may have to start looking at more agricultural alien plant life samples because... And to do that, I think... Because if we look over here... Oh, maybe there is a lot of gardens. I couldn't remember if there was a lot of gardens in here, if I'd already stole them all, but it looks like I haven't. I can see quite a few gardens in here. I'm not sure if they regrow. But yeah, that is a fair amount of gardens. So let's go ahead and swipe a ton of these. And eventually we will just remove every single tree in the entire system. But not at the moment. Might as well go down here as well. You got a few gardens. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and paste this setup, and we'll chuck it over here. It's a nice little area over here. Okay, you guys are going to be requested chests. So, desert garden, this is going to request desert garden. All of them, and then this chest is only going to pull stuff out if desert garden is greater than 10. So we don't... So basically we don't destroy everything. Alright, so you are going to be swamp gardens, and you are going to be temperate gardens. Yep. And then... And I believe we've got a few dozen, if not a couple of hundred, from that dam deconstruction thing we just did. And there we go. We could do this as well. We could just say something like... So, read, hold all belts. And agricultural science is less than 150. And we're not quite... How are we at the limits of this? We're doing alright. Wait, there's 6 science packs. What are we missing here? Red. No red is actually getting onto the belts. That's concerning. Alright. I think we have to round these down to 100. Starting to get a bit too much crap on these belts. Yeah, 6 times 150 is 900. 8 times 100 is 800. So we definitely needed to do this anyway for the next 2 sciences. Alright, beautiful. And then this one will have the benefit of having agricultural science as well. How did you... Not sure how that one got some gardens in it, but all good. Okay. So how are we doing on the robot front? Still up to 82. 354 of this. You're not quite backed up yet, but you are definitely getting there. Having said that, this process is pretty quick when you've actually got the robots. So these guys will take a while to stall, but once they stall, because they're full up with a whole bunch of stuff, these guys will upgrade very, very fast. So not too worried about that. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's get a bunch of charging ports up. Do we want the big ones or the little ones? I mean, the problem with that is we need to get Roboport charging 2s. Okay, never mind. That needs nickel. We've already got Roboport charging 1s up. The Roboport arrays we've already got up. Okay, so all we need here is that. And we should have all the ingredients we require for that one. I wonder if robots prioritize upgrading an assembler or upgrading an inserter or building a new one. I have a feeling it's building a new one, but I guess we'll see. Looks like we got all these ingredients. Spread is not quite as big. Looks like they're doing a little bit better now. But yeah, we'll whack down a few things over here. Or even just unlock the purple ones as well. 45 megawatts. 16 over 10. That's not too much bigger, but okay. Let's put in some charging. Can't fit any there, but bunch of charging ports all around the place. Just to make things a little bit nicer. Can't fit any in there. But hopefully the robots appreciate all of this hard work. All right. I think that will kind of be enough. Let's... Yeah, that should be enough there. And I'll put one over there, and then I think we're done. That was like a good 20, 25, 32, actually 32. Okay, so that should be more than enough. It's definitely having a problem with these big inserters. The gears. All right, we really do need to... I would have thought 2 would be enough, but clearly there's just so many more than I thought. We can't quite fit one here, which is unfortunate, but let's just do that. And go back over there. And I guess we're not having a charging port here. We can fit one there, that's fine. Okay. And we'll also upgrade this belt to be red. And let's continue to churn on with the roboports. And then I think, with the research, sorry, I think we need to go and check on the titanium. How is the titanium going? We got 48. Okay, that is 48 plates. So that trigger tech should be researched. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, and we almost had this one, 50. Oh, that'll get done soon. But that's mining's... It's funny, we're researching this before we actually research the cobalt steel plate. I'm sure there's an Invar one around here somewhere as well, but... Okay, so anyway, let's go back to the list. So, level 2 robots done. Belts in Mega Mall. We've been putting that off for a little while, so... I think now is a pretty good time to do that. What are these construction robots doing? Just going from one side of the base to the other to actually make things happen. Okay, we've still just got 82. That's very disappointing. Why are you not... Why are there... There says on the way. I have a feeling they get on the way and then they just sort of slow down and say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to be lazy today. And the construction robots are the opposite. They're just like, I'm completely lazy, and therefore this just gets backed up to 350 or 300 and doesn't move at all. Okay. Well, we've definitely turned off the production of these robots, the level 1s. So I think what we need to do here is it's kind of janky, but what we're going to do is pull out all of the level 2 robots. So this process can keep working. And then over somewhere else, like we'll go up to the next row report, we'll say, okay, level 2 robots. Get shoved in there. And that means that eventually, it means we'll continue to upgrade row reports, and what may happen is we end up going down to like 1,000 construction robots in the entire network or something. Or even like 300 or something. If we don't do any more construction, we'll just have 350 down here. But as soon as... actually, we'll do this. And then we'll upgrade it. So that'll be a blue bulk inserter. So we can get them in nice and quick. And we'll do the same thing over here for the logistics ones. Not that I think we're going to have too many problems with the logistics ones, but we'll do the same thing anyway, because eventually the logistics bots will all go down and do nothing. And we don't have to worry about having too many robots, because we just don't have... We're not building any new ones. We're only upgrading existing ones. Okay. And the problem now is that we're just so overwhelmed the amount of logistics related processes we're doing that this inserter is taking so long to build. Part of me wants to just do it manually. You know what? We're just going to do this here and then upgrade it. There we go. Okay. Whoop. Now, hopefully that'll speed up a lot of the charging that these guys are busy doing. Low density structures. They were trapped behind titanium, so now we can get those done. Okay. And lots, just so many purple buildings, and paper making 3, which requires an insane amount of wacky ingredients, but is probably more efficient than the process that we have right now. So, what are we doing? I think we have to do belts next. We've been saying for a few episodes that we're going to do belts. So let's do belts. And I think this is actually a really good place to do it, because we can just use belts to send the iron and the steel in, and we can just do it directly off there. And it'll be similar. And I'm not... We've already kind of messed with belts before for logistics science. And we can see the sheer amount of brass that we've needed to get this done. So we're going to need to send a brass and some aluminium up there as well. It does kind of make me wonder if we should just have a completely separate station for all of this stuff, but maybe we should. Maybe we should just let it have its own station, like undergrounds and splitters and all that sort of stuff. Just have one big station that just does all of that stuff. Look at all the pretty things. We could potentially, I mean, we can't actually make a Robot 3 because we require blue circuits and lithium batteries. There's actually 3 types of batteries. There's a silver zinc battery later on. Not even sure how you unlock that, but yeah. Battery 3, silver zinc battery. Doesn't really look that hard to make. Like, it just needs silver oxide. We could probably get silver oxide now, but yeah, we did go hard on silver, which is why we're in such a good position to make stuff like that. So yeah, belts. Looks like these ones are doing a pretty good job of keeping these guys sorted, thankfully. How is these? How are these guys going? Approximately 50% finished. And what are our construction robots aren't really doing much. So what we can do is we could just say, boom, done. And then the construction robots will take care of those 16 chests on the left. And the logistics robots will take care of the other ones on the right. And that way it's just a whole lot more efficient. Yeah. And let's go ahead and let's get rid of these as well. Okay, so now we're using all 10,000 robots to clean that up, which is a bit nicer. And look at this huge wave of blue robots that are just going out there. I would say I would tap our roboports, but we kind of just don't have enough roboports at the moment to handle all that, so. But yeah. You can see there's a huge amount. Before they were spraying all over the place, these robots. Now they're a lot more direct. They're not just searching everywhere for places to recharge. They just go over to one of these places, charge straight away. And oh, look at those construction robots. They're just zooming along. It's not like, I don't think there are any... Our construction robots are actually a lot faster than their logistics robot counterparts. And I guess the same was over here for red ones, but it carries over to blue ones as well. Okay, so let's get some stuff happening. It looks like we're mainly going through purple at the moment. Does look like we've got 58 agricultural in there as well. It looks like we've got approximately all the science we need. Maybe I shouldn't be putting all of these onto the one side of the belt. But it does make it very hard for red to get on there. I mean, it's not too hard because actually it's down to 30 now. That's not great. Okay, let's just do the simple thing. Simple, 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 and simple. That should help it out a bit more, I think. Yeah, I think that's helping a bit more. Okay. Let's move that onto all of the other areas. I do like this setup a lot more. It's very colorful, it's very functional, and it'll look even better once we've got yellow and space science on the belt. Although that'll still take a little while. Yellow. And yellow is not... Well, we haven't even unlocked yellow then. Oh, there we go. We can unlock it right now. Beautiful. Only takes 3 science packs, but its requirements was... It was locked behind titanium, so that's why we had to wait so long for it. Purple. There's just like a sea of purple at the moment. Ooh. Here we go. The best cargo wagons in the game. Having said that, I'm not sure if we're... I know I planned for us to upgrade to max level cargo wagons, but I have realized that you can't actually use upgrade planners on trains. It just doesn't work. You can't select a train in this thing. So the only way for us to do it is A, do it manually, which we're not doing because we've got how many trains? 210 trains. Yeah, we're not manually updating 210 trains. Or we could use a mod. And I'm really not sure about using a mod. We could, but do we really want to? Is it worth it? I mean, it would be worth it if our train network starts to get congested. Then that will be the point where we're like, okay, we need better trains. But right now our train network is not anywhere remotely congested. And I'm not really too worried about it getting congested because we've overbuilt this train network. We got 4 lanes, we've got 1-1 trains, and we've got T intersections only, and everything is nicely spread out. This is the closest things get spread out. 2 stations right next to each other. And look at all the room in between the intersections. I mean, we haven't got tons of signals, but look, 1, 2, 3 trains. And that's as close as the intersections ever get, so... Congestion should not be a problem, but... I realize I'm kind of faffing around a bit. Because, all right. Here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to... Here's the thing. We're using a full red belt of brass just for buildings that we're needing, and we haven't even started building our belts yet. So I think just from a resources point of view, if we were seriously going to do belts in the mega mall, we would need extra stations, which I don't think I want. So I think what we have to do is we have to make them separate. It's a little bit painful, but we could also make them over here, get some new trains coming in with exactly the same resources, send them up. And I mean, they don't actually require a huge amount of goods, like stone. Okay, once you get to splitters, they do. For these guys, it's not too bad. But I think we do it over here. I was kind of saving this for yellow signs, but we can do yellow signs further up. Now I think that's... Let me just double check. Is that actually... It is leaving a few signals behind. So I am right to do this. Yeah, let's just do it completely separate. Completely separate station, separate area for belts. Straight. And I gotta start doing more. Well, these ones haven't been used up yet, so I don't really need to push those up at all. These ones haven't been used, these ones haven't. These ones definitely need to be pushed up. 1, 2, 3. Dum. Straight. I realize we've already tapped the construction bots quite heavily, but we'll always give them more to do because there is always more to do. And look, 90% of the research we're going through at the moment is actually just purple signs. I don't think pink is used for all that much. Although, what are all these locked behind? They're just locked behind other purple research. Which is weird, because they're all in the red. I guess these yellow ones are further up because we can directly access them now, but... Yeah, pink science is really not used for as much as I thought. It's used for specific recipes, but... No, not used for as much as I thought it would be. Purple is used for pretty much everything. Okay, so we're going to get belt related stuff in here. Station, unload. Okay, let's sort of plan this out. So we're going to have circuits coming in over here, I think. Station, unload. Give me some iron. And we don't need a massive, like an overwhelming amount of belt throughput or anything like that. We just need a few belts, but we do need them to be belted. I guess, kind of weird thing to say, we need the belts to be belted, but yeah. It's big enough that I don't want to be relying on bots to move everything around. We definitely want, especially because of the sheer amount of gears that are used for belts and undergrounds, especially. The sheer amount of gears used by undergrounds is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so this is going to be... brass? No, we don't need brass yet. Yellow. So, tin. Actually, that's a good point. We should make this one tin. Oh, that's alright. It's probably just going to one of these stations, maybe. And then this one is going to be steel. Let me go over to this train. What train are you? Okay, yeah, you know what? That's fair enough. Where are you trying to get to? Temporary depot. I think this guy was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, that guy was fine. It's somehow this one bit of rail, a bot just came along and destroyed it. And then the rest of the bots just said, you know what? We'll get it done when it's done. Okay. Well, you're fine. You can just sit there. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be its own episode to go through the E menu and highlight all the new stuff that's been unlocked. Like, ooh, we got titanium pipes, max length 23, as opposed to the 11 we've currently got. That is pretty sweet. Substation 3, 30 by 30, as opposed to 18 by 18. Again, it requires insulated wire though, which is a bit of a pain. I think it takes liquid resin. We kind of have liquid resin already, so it's not too much of a pain, but this is not actually too bad. Substation 2s, but there we go. The big trains that... And then we got all these weird Bob's trains, but... different types of locomotives that do different types of things. I don't think any of them, like this one... Okay, storage size 93. That's not bad. Because our max level 1 up here is storage size 80. Max speed 756. How do cargo wagons have a max speed? They should not have a max speed. That's a bit weird. Yeah. Mining drills, actually, we've got to talk about mining drills. I did an experiment with some coal over here in between streams. No worries, SWAT. Have a good one. I will catch you later. Yeah, I did an experiment because we did have some problems with this not spitting out enough on it fast enough. And what I realized is if you mine directly into a silo, maybe we tried that already, mine directly into a silo from a purely infinite patch, there's no delays whatsoever. So then what we'll probably do is we'll just have, we could even have like one mining drill mining into a silo or a warehouse and then have 2 full green belts coming out of it. Because in the end, that's how fast our miners will be. They will be completely insane. But for now, well, we've got a bunch of trees. So the main thing we're going to be focusing on, I guess, for the rest of the episode is going to be belts. Getting this new belt build done. Because, yeah, they come in and immediately they just jump out. Well, I say they jump out. It looks like... Yeah, that robot took ages to charge up over there. Ages. But we're getting better. Up to 90... Only 94. This process of requesting bots really doesn't work when the robots are full, when the robots are very busy. They just they refuse to go over there and do anything. So not great, but anyway. Let's have a look at what we're doing over here. So once again, so we got a chain of undergrounds. Each underground just requires the previous underground. The splitters just require the previous splitters, which is a change because usually like a red splitter would require a bunch of red belts as well as a yellow splitter. But no, we just got a chain that goes up the line, which is good. So I really want those trees to be destroyed because they're kind of annoying me. But we just had to remove all of these chests as quickly as possible, which they are really going pretty fast now. So we look down here. Yeah, see, 3.6k logs are queued to be picked up. And that's a huge amount of guys currently just zooming around, picking stuff up. But if they're zooming around picking stuff up, then they're not destroying trees, which makes me very sad. Okay. Let's go ahead and start chucking in. Now I think these are all pretty much the same. It's 1 every half a second, so 2 belts per second. Alright, so this is 4 per second. This is 4 per second, and then it goes down to 2 per second. I think we're just going to have it being like this. So we're going to have a nice little setup over here, and it's just going to go down the chain. And I might move that over a bit. So you are this one. And yeah, we'll just try and make these guys run as fast as possible. Might leave a little bit of space here because, yeah, 5 per second. So we'll do something like this. Yeah. And you can have a nice bulk inserter because you are actually doing things rather fast. You can have another bulk inserter because you're doing things rather fast. So only needs 1/2 of a yellow belt, so that's not too bad. And of course, very, very, very important here, we need to have a recycle set up. Actually, we'll do... Yeah. So we do a recycle setup here and a red thing. And this one will be requesting transport belts 1,000. And this one will only be putting in there if the transport belts is less than 100. And did you see the inserter ghost configuration? Okay, so it seems like we can't get to 4, which means we can't have an inserter all the way over here picking up out of a train, because we need to go to 4 to get that. Unless there's another inserter. Ultimate inserters, bulk inserter capacity. All right, so it doesn't seem like we've got any more inserter configurations that we can get. So that means at max we can have like 6 inserters taking care of that stuff, which is fine. I might even not upgrade most of the stations to have 6. I might just leave most of them at 4. Oh, what's going on here? Research is stalled. Looks like purple science. We ran out of the 1 train load. And is there another train coming over right now? There is. We ran out, but there is another train coming over. Beautiful, beautiful timing. Okay, so science is not going to slow down too much, but it does make me a little bit wary that we're going to... Because this has never happened before. We usually produce these fast enough to keep our research going indefinitely, but then again, these science builds were a little bit slow. Yeah. That's about as well as can be expected here. Backing up a little bit, we could... What we might do is upgrade these, upgrade these, upgrade these, and then upgrade this belt. Which will speed it up a little bit because we're actually pumping some off there. So that'll make that work a tiny bit better. Okay, so what did we say? We've got iron, tin, and then this is steel. We've got a machine all the way down there, which I can't see because we've got... So you need 2.5 per second. Let's get gears going. 2.5 per second, it needs 5. And so this one, iron plate, produces 10. And Bob's your uncle. That takes care of the basics. And then send that over there, and that sends the belts up. And then tin, we'll send it further up here, and this requires iron gears and tin. I really wish the trees would go away. Okay, it's not even letting me place this. Why is it not letting me place this? Those bloody trees. I'm starting to miss my old bots that they just randomly teleported all the way across the map. And just randomly just deleted stuff for me. This will be really helpful because we'll be recycling. We've got tons of these belts, like 11,000 just sitting in here. So these will get recycled very nicely. We do want to kind of have some of them though, which is a little bit tricky to provide them, but also get rid of the ones if there's too many of them. Is a bit tricky. Advanced iron casting. Oh my god. Was that... So it was advanced silicon. We're going to have so many crazy recipes. And I don't know how many of them we're actually going to use and how many we're just going to say, no, it's too crazy. We're not touching it. So many robots all over the place here. None of them are destroying the trees that I actually want to. Alright, so how do we do this? We do a provide. And then a request. Because the problem is if we have a provider and then a requester, it's going to just... Robots are just going to pull stuff out of here to put it in there. We could have a signal hooked up to a roboport that says if there's more than X amount, then activate the requester. We could definitely do that, but I really don't want to do that. I'm trying to think how we've done it. Usually in the past, I just say, okay, we're using red belts now, and then you no longer need a passive provider for yellow belts. But I kind of want to be flexible and just have a certain amount free for any of them. Okay. What we could do, and I think this should work, is we just have a buffer chest. Because robots do not... Logistic robots do not really pull out of buffer chests. You can select the requested chest to request from buffer chests, but we'll just leave that off. And then, yeah, we'll just have a bunch of those. For these, we need barely any. Ooh, 100,000 chemical science packs. Very nice. All right, so that will sort that out. And then we just need you to be red belts and you to be blue belts. And yeah, so this will give us a bit of a pain if there are any actual buildings that require belts to create, which I think might be a case for labs or something. But I'm not going to worry about them. Is there any pink science that we can start working on? I don't think so. All the pink science I can see also requires purple. It's just a sea of purple at the moment. Ooh. And start to get some Spidertrons. As Antron, it's a smaller version of a Spidertron. Then a Tankertron, as the actual Spidertron. Not that we need them because, as we mentioned before, Spidertrons are only useful if you are trying to... they're either useful for killing stuff, or they're useful if you're trying to build in an area that doesn't have robot coverage, or if your robots are just terribly slow. So not a super huge problem that we are happening. All right. So you do need a bit more. You need gears, right? Okay. send you up. And then I do believe... Might as well use the better inserters. I do believe that is the last we need of iron. For this particular thing. And then tin is just unspooling that. And might as well do this. Just so we got a bit more PowerPoint coverage. Power pole coverage, I meant to say, but you know how these things get confused. Okay, and that's red belts. And that's blue belts. All right. That's not great. Okay. All right. Yeah, creating these stations is a bit slower now because we need the faster inserters, although the robots are still struggling to do this stuff, so yes. Well, having said that, we don't have too much left. About, well, still about 10k, but I think we'll leave the rest for the logistics robots. I didn't realize how much I actually loved having the construction robots just available straight away, but it's all good. How are we doing? 790 new robots, only 199 logistics, but 790 construction robots. They're starting to see a lot more blue on the horizon, and they are definitely faster. And if we have a look at our power, 600 megawatts. They're definitely starting to... Oh, yeah. Okay, that's not great. That's really not great. That's... our electric network is starting to tank. We're fully backed up on lubricant, though, which is good because... Although it means this farming setup will potentially fall over because we're no longer throwing this stuff away if there's too much of it. So I think what we need to do is we need to set up an emergency approach for that. 2, 3... hopefully 3 is enough. Because, yeah, we definitely do not want to back up on base mineral oil and have our backup farms all start to fall over. Okay, so you are base mineral oil greater than 24,000. You will run. All 3 of these are powered. Alright, job's done. And the fuel oil, so it's already at 21k. Oh, yep, the, looks like these have been turning on a couple of times so far. Yeah, a nice 1.4 gigawatts of steam power. Definitely makes your base run a little bit nicer. And I'm not sure how much longer it's going to take, but as soon as they finish moving all that logistics crap over, I am going to be a lot happier. Because that stuff's just taken forever. Where's a nice place to build? There's a lot of places that we're sort of going over the edge of our bound, like here. Moving over the edge of our bounds. I don't really want to put too much more solar. This is not too bad because they're all doubles, so I feel like here, here, and here is fine. We'll put some there. I believe concrete, this is clay bricks. I believe we did leave enough space here for this. Yeah, we perfectly lined it up. And then, yeah. That is, yeah. We don't need that for science, so we can plaster solder all over that stuff. That's fine. This one, we might need to expand it, but we can expand it a bit more to the right. And we'll see how we're going later on. We may end up, when we start making big mega base structures of everything, just tearing down some of that solar, moving it around a little bit, but for now it is a-okay. Alright, so let's get back to the belts. These bloody belts. How is it it's built everything but not the arithmetic calculators? And it seems like it really hates arithmetic calculators. They're just not being built. And we definitely are making them over here. Yeah, see, they're right here. There's 150 of them in storage. Why are the construction robots? Maybe they've got some sort of internal priority system where they just do things in a certain way and they just happen to hate arithmetic calculators like the plague. And they do them at the absolute last moment. Armored railway twos. Wonder if these are any faster than normal railways. Oh, by the way, I just saw it. Beta Refugerium. I think Refugium. I had a lot of a look at the modules, and I think basically the best way to get all of the crap we need, the crystal splinters and stuff, is going to be through biters, because there's 3 different levels of biters. Like you got the big biters, you got the medium biters, and you got the small biters. And they create the crystal splinters, the crystal shards, and then the full crystals, respectively. And then, yeah. So once you've got all of those, you're pretty much good, I'm going to say. Okay, bronze. Need to make sure we get some bronze. So yeah, we'll probably be, like, we'll do a bit of fish because we need a little bit of polluted fish water and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think we just stick to biters because they seem to be good all the way through to the end game. Okay. So I'm actually going to send bronze over like this. Because you just take bronze plate, right? And then this one requires 10 steel gears per second. Okay. 10 steel gears per second. This might be a problem. And these are going to be unspooling the steel. 10 per second. All right, that's... I don't usually like doing this, but I think that should be enough. And then we'll make this a nice red belt just to be on the safe side. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And this is the steel. And it just takes 2.5 per second. Pick up. Pick up. All right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And good job to everybody involved. That should be enough for these ones anyway. And then we need to do the whole mess for the undergrounds. And I don't think we'll be able to do the undergrounds to this same level. I don't think we'll even be able to do the blue belts to the same level. Here we go. Diamond laser rifle battery. That is completely... Why are we... I'm just researching everything. Okay, I feel like we can get that one done, even though it's a bit of agricultural. It'll be useful for us. And let's poke around a bit. Let's see this process. 284 titanium, so it's still going. Bit slowly, but eventually we'll run out of carbon for that process, but that's okay. Yeah, we got a full 2k in there. And you going down here, you have got 1.8k, so it's just the machines being slow. Don't know what we're going to need that titanium for, but we'll see. Maybe we should just stop the process, because otherwise we're going to end up with tons of ore. Not that we don't already have tons of ore lying around the logistics network, but hey, look at this, 1.5k. I think it was 4.3 when we started. So have we created 3,000? So if we copy that entire thing, that's going to take a second. And then have a look. Yeah, we already got 4. Well, that's including the ones that need to be upgraded. Okay, so that doesn't really tell us anything. But let's go ahead and delete that blueprint, because that's probably painful just to have in my game. But yeah, okay, we're really... Okay, just a few more chests. That's only 3k left. Alright, so our construction robots have nearly done their bit. I'm not going to ask them to do anything else. Well, I've asked them to do this as well, but that's all I'm asking them to do. And then I'll leave the logistics robots to clean up the rest. And we are going to do it, because yeah, the fact that, look at this poor train, still hasn't made it all the way to the other side of the railway. It's been stuck there for like 20 minutes at this point, maybe even longer. And we still haven't even got any resources on the belt here, but is it really making the inserters that quickly? I guess maybe it is. Well, those logistics robots are going, yeah, they're going pretty nuts on this guy. Definitely a fan of that sort of stuff happening. And how's our science going? Purple's out again. What can we research that doesn't require purple and doesn't require yellow? Well, you can get a couple of these guys done. Yeah, swamp farming, get that done. Arboretum 2, get that done. Desert Arboretum, why not? Yeah, we're at 15, 21, 14. So I feel like we've got, plus we've got another 1,500 alien plant life samples. What I might do is we'll get rid of... We'll still need that, but what we'll also do is we'll get this guy in here, and you can grab some alien plant life samples. Yeah. And what I might actually do is we'll get rid of this, and then we'll change all of these to requester silos. And that'll be a bit simpler. Okay, beautiful, 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 beautiful. I'm not sure if they actually finished picking up all the desert flowers that are all over the place, whether there's still more. Because I feel like there was probably more that they could have been picking up. But it's a bit hard to tell. It is a bit hard to tell. Yeah, I really don't know. I definitely think... I think at this point it's probably conclusive that construction robots do not prioritize creating new inserters over upgrading existing ones. I think it's just whenever the job is made. So if you make the job, then they just do all of the... They just do the job in order. So if you do an upgrade plan for 4,000, it'll do all of those before it creates the new ones. Of course, if you don't have enough ingredients, then it'll go and it'll create these. But obviously it's prioritizing the destruction of the old things first. Alright. Might want to just move this down a little bit. Yeah, we'll move that down a little bit. And then you can be like that and pick up from there. And you can pick up from there. And you can pick up from there. And you can pick up from there as well. There we go. And this goes on. And that gives us a little bit more room to do shenanigans up here. Okay. It's very annoying not having these created, but we are creating a lot of these. Like, we actually have a look. Inserter. Like, we're creating... Actually, that's not too high. Actually, express bulk insert. I thought that would have been a lot higher. I mean, in the last 10 minutes, we've created an average of about 60 per minute. So I think it's just died off for some unknown reason just in the past few minutes. Hopefully it's brass bearings. Oh, we're out of brass. Okay, well that's slightly concerning. I thought we had oodles of brass. I know we've got one brass train over here, just sort of lost, but the other two should still be doing a good job. Okay, well, yeah, we're just not producing brass fast enough. So, okay, who decided that was a good idea? Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, because now the construction bots are going to take a million years to fix that up, but... Alright, copper and zinc ingots. Zinc ingots, very, very healthy. Copper ingots, not so healthy. So we can't just upgrade those to red belts, because then copper ingots will fall over like something that is falling over. This is iron. Scrolls as well, not great. Probably needs to be upgraded to a red belt. Steel is currently in the toilet. Brass is exceptionally in the toilet. Okay, so we're doing a lot of big stuff over here, which is really testing our base. And the fact that we are researching non-stop is probably not helping either. Because everything is running right now. And that means pink and purple already use up an absolute ton of brass. And now we're building robots and all that sort of stuff. And robots take... No, they take aluminium. They don't take brass? These guys take brass. Yeah, brass bearings, brass gear wheels. Okay, these guys take a bunch of them. And yeah, if we have a look at the logistics network, quite a lot. So... don't have too many construction robots actually lost, which is good. Those numbers don't really add up though. 5.2.790. I guess we did have just over, was it 6,500 or 6,000? I can't remember. But yeah. Oh, I really want this to be over. I think the construction robots are pretty much done. Yeah, 700 here, 1.8k here. They're pretty much done, and then the logistics robots can take care of the rest. And then, well, the construction robots will be doing solar for quite some time now, but we were close to running out of solar, so I'm happy. I mean, yeah, almost 3 gigawatts. And we are using a ton of that for 1.4 gigawatts for the accumulators, which I like, but yeah, this fuel oil has got to be slowly going down. Base mineral oil is high. Fuel oil is getting very low. So yeah, we're currently just working through our stockpile at the moment. But after we finish off the stockpile, this is going to crash because we got too much base mineral oil because we still need these to be created. So the bots are just too busy. So while we wait for the impending apocalypse of power, when the farms all fall over and our solar isn't enough to keep up, let's get some stuff going on here. What is your problem? So many things just not working. Okay, we got plenty of space here. I feel like we leave this whole area for the belt, and then here we do undergrounds, and then here we do yeah, so we can do a pole over here and a pole over there, and then get rid of these 3 poles. Okay, we'll leave these for more metals. This guy can be stone, because I believe we do need stone. We don't actually have stone, do we? We can make this crushed stone. Crushed stone. Which we will convert to stone. Alright. So we'll get this same line going down the middle over here. Except you are going to be undergrounds, and undergrounds do require transport belts. So we'll just do a quick little transport belt build down here. And from then on, it's just the chain. It's just the chain. And they won't be sharing any production buildings, but they will be sharing input belts. Okay. Get that going. Iron. This is tin over here. Did we get the tin and the iron confused? This belt is supposed to be iron. It's actually tin. Yeah, we got them mixed around. Okay. Okay. You know what? Let's not do that. So this is iron right here. Boom. Much simpler and easier. Okay. Much simpler and easier. And we'll go over there. And then stone just goes over here, goes in from the side. And you need five. Alright, there needs 5 stone per second and 12.5 of this. Okay. Do we want to... Look, there's no way we're going to be able to do undergrounds at full speed. So let's not even bother. Let's just get a bunch of stone in here. So these will be slow, but then again, they're 5 per second. And Okay, and then request 500. And then yellow undergrounds. Yellow undergrounds at 500. And then red undergrounds and red undergrounds at 500. And finally blue undergrounds and blue undergrounds at 500. Okay, beautiful. So if we have any leftovers, like blue undergrounds, say, that we still want to use, they will actually get shoved in here, first of all, and not be useful. Which is not great, but... Can a buffer chest actually... A buffer chest can actually request stuff. That's interesting. Maybe we don't need a requester. Maybe we just use a buffer. It's an interesting idea. I mean, it's not too bad, I guess. I mean, this setup is still good enough, but yeah, we could just make this a request. Yeah. This one be a requester, and then it's also a buffer. Not going to worry about it. Not going to worry too much about it. Let's get some actual stuff happening here, my god. Yeah, what were these... What was the problem with these inserters again? Brass. Yeah, brass is dead. We can't improve brass by feeding more belts in there. So we just have to let it go. And this may be the trigger for us to improve copper. So for example, red belts over here, double the stack, get more copper ore, and then red belts over here. So we've got... Yeah. We're just going from crisis to crisis at the moment, but... Construction robots are officially done with that area, and then... What do we got about? Just over 20k for the logistics robots to do. Very nice. Red belts are over here. Nice, nice, nice. Got some good progress there. Okay. Let's finish this off by improving copper ingots. So we need red belts here. And we need red belts here. Now this is using Stereotype and the white stuff. I'm pretty sure the white stuff is falling over. And we also need to do this. Need to increase that, and then we need to switch these back over to copper. We briefly changed the recipe over, but... Okay. That's not good. That's not good. I would have thought it would just stall them out, but... Apparently it did actually cause some problems. Alright, let's go over and fix that. That was a bit silly on my part. We should have maybe closed off the input belts and then done it, but... Oh god, all the trees. And the bots aren't as fast as my car, so they can't actually repair it as we're going. I don't know why, but I'm starting to miss like the old ones. What are you doing here? You do not need to just be there randomly. Damn it. Stupid crystal rock. It doesn't even have any crystals in it. It's just got rocks. Jeez, this bot is taking ages. Ages. I don't know if it will be... I think... For construction robots, I think they'll be able to survive charging at low speed all around the map. And the logistics robots will just put extra charging places. which we've already done. And we can improve those to be better in the long run. But yeah, we may just have to make a beeline for those nuclear powered robots. Okay, is this the right place? This is the right place. Okay, beautiful. Let's go over. And yeah, because it's not actually iron it's putting out. It's the crushed sapphirite and the crushed white stuff. Because basically there was a recipe change and these guys said, okay, I no longer need this stuff, so I'm just going to throw it out. And it threw it out onto the only belt it had available, which was the belt in the middle. So it should no longer be... Let's just double check. So now it should be fine, but there was a moment where it was an iron thing that all hell broke loose. It's actually a bit... Oh, don't know what happened there. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Okay. So we got 4 belts coming out. Let's pick up all of this junk. There's even some mineral catalyst that got on there. Alright. I don't think any of it happened too far up, so... Now we are going to put some yellow belts here so that the process keeps running. And... Okay, no, apparently there's still crap coming out. Apparently there's still crap. Okay. Let's close this off. What's going on here? I'm pretty sure I updated all of these buildings to be good. And although it hasn't created any new ones. Alright, so maybe there was just some leftover crap in the old ones. Okay, let's clear out all these guys. Clear out a little bit there. Clear out a little bit down there. Ah, that's very annoying. Should have realized. Well, we'll remember that for next time, I guess. Okay. Yeah, see, look at all this crap. Copper ore, copper ore. It's a bit hard to tell because when you look at the contents down the bottom right, it looks normal. But when you actually look inside the machine, sometimes the output is over on the right-hand side when it should just be like this one. Okay, boom. And I'm not sure what the deal is with these, but let's fix them up anyway. Okay, we're good. We're good by the looks of it. We're all good. And the new machines shouldn't be pumping anything out onto the wrong belt. Let's do a final check of the actual belts. They all look good. Do a Shift C, get everything thrown away. And we'll just watch the belts go down, but I think we're all right. I'm being very, very particular about this because we do not have any inserter filters on any of the train lines. So the second we start putting crap into a train station, it's lost. Well, it would only go to another copper place, which means realistically what would happen is eventually it would end up here and it would end up at the end of one of these belts. But this is a pretty good case with copper because only if it goes to one destination. But there are some train stations where, like, if we got some crap on the carbon output station, suddenly we would be in a lot of trouble because we use it sending carbon everywhere. So that stuff could be jamming a belt anywhere in the entire base. It's very scary. Okay, logistics robots have to get rid of that crap as well. Okay, fair enough. But it looks like the construction robots are all done. Now, I mean, they are working. They've got tons of solar to pick up. And tons of accumulators. And yeah, but... And tons of belts, actually, as well. But that is all good. We've averted that crisis that we ourselves created, but... Does that mean they've finally... No. Well, they've done everything here except for the belts. Well, it's the inserters, I should say. And I'm guessing we're still low on inserters because of brass. Yeah, I mean, brass is okay. It's continuing to run. It's not like it's stopping. It's continuing to run. Unlike our signs, which are stalled again. For obvious reasons, because purple is just too hard. Purple is just too hard to keep going at this point. I mean, I have a feeling it's not like it's on the way or anything like that. I have a feeling it's just like, no. There is just not enough. It just stalled completely. Okay, are you brass? No, you're iron. Iron sheets. What's the deal with iron sheets? They shouldn't be too bad. They're not. They got a decent amount of iron, decent amount of this. We're just tapping the base too hard. If we have a look at iron ingots... Where are iron ingots? They're pretty good. Not enough trains, but they're pretty good. How many trains do we have for iron ingots? 6. Oh, it's that speed. The loading speed for trains. Okay, what? We've got a train asleep here. How do we need more trains if we've got a train asleep there? And I guess these guys are all good. We just need better belts. Alright, let's get some better belts for this station as well. Better belts for this station. And we are definitely moving quicker towards a point where we'll just have whatever belts we want. Maybe not green belts for a while, but purple belts. I mean, blue belts are within range. Purple belts are probably within range as well. Did I not update these? I guess I didn't update these. Okay, so this one is correct. This one should be 1,000. Trash unrequested, please. And this one should be 1,000 blue belts. This is actually not good. I'm going to get rid of that request. Because currently red belts are actually very much in demand. And I don't want 1,000 of them just sitting in a chest over here. Just like I don't want 500 of these sitting in a chest over there. So let's get rid of those two. Trash unrequested. These ones, more than happy to have 500 sitting in a chest. And apparently we don't have any of those, which is very nice. Okay, I have a feeling like we might be just about done here. So the construction robots are doing a pretty good job. We need brass, but let's just get rid of these. Clearly, we just can't do much with purple signs at the moment, and there's not anywhere near enough that just requires pink. So what was purple signs falling over on again? There was iron. Okay, so we've done a nice little fix for iron. And once the bots pull their heads out, well, once they get some inserters going for these guys, these trains will all start setting up, and then we will be building even more red belts, red undergrounds, and so on and so forth. And these guys should be able to go a fair bit faster. Okay. And for now, I think the next thing we'll probably have to worry about is Crotinium, because this looks... I mean, we won't necessarily need to upgrade these, but they're now going to be 2 red belts, so that is going to be a bit of a pain. But yeah, really, really need to get bronze a lot better. Brass, sorry, not bronze, brass. Could upgrade these belts as well. Let's just trigger it. Zinc will definitely be able to handle it, and copper ingots we've just updated. So as soon as all the red belts go through and get placed, then brass should just be fixed. And I don't think this process should fall over. Bronze and tin, we're getting bronze from the station, we're getting tin from the station. Steel we're getting from the station. So, yeah, we should be fine. That should eventually sort itself out. And then the inserters will sort themselves out. Are we getting more inserters? Not really. This number is fluctuating quite a lot, but I don't think we're actually building too many. It's just sort of being meh. Alright, and I think we're going to finish off the stream right now. And we've done a bit. We've got some decent amount of robots now. Almost 1,000 blue construction, 220 blue logistics. And they will start to get switched over a lot faster once they stop being so busy. Because, yeah, that'll happen a lot quicker. Until the tools stop being built because they're out of brass. But, yeah. Like these are already backed up. These are got a ton of brains in them. So this process has a ton of stuff. It's just because the bots are all in use, they're not actually staying in the robot long enough to actually be upgraded. But once they are, there'll be upgrades like crazy. So yeah, it might actually be a good idea to sort of give our bots, definitely the logistics bots, will give them a bit of a break. And looks like they're filling up the wood here. Some point as well, we will just... There's like 600,000 wood here that we could get rid of. And that'll be like stage 1 of making everything beautiful. So we'll get rid of all that wood. And then we'll start to think about concreting everything. Not sure what sort of concrete we'll go for, but we'll definitely concrete everything eventually. It'll look like an absolutely incredible base. Speaking of incredible, you can be 2,000. Because I feel like there's a lot more in the system. Okay, it's nice. We're getting plenty of this stuff done. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But for now, I feel fine getting rid of all this research. If we start to run out of it, we'll see how we go. But maybe we should prioritize the biter refugarium. Although we can make more desert gardens if we need to. And yeah, these bots really need to get a move on. Although I did tell them to create a ton of solar. But anyway, we are done right now. We have done a fairly long stream and we're getting there, because right now it's sort of, a lot of it is just waiting for bots to do stuff, but we're getting to the point where we've done all of the big things, a lot of the big things, like we're doing another really big solar push at the moment, which will take the bots a long time to do. But we are upgrading a ton of the bots, and I think once we unlock titanium and make titanium in a decent amount, so titanium, blue circuits, if we have a look at this, like construction robots, we need lithium batteries, titanium, and blue circuits, and this stupid insulated wire stuff. All of the things which I think we need for yellow science. So once we get yellow science, we can get purple robots. And the purple robots are, again, a fair bit faster. And again, we're going from 3+2 to 6+2 for the cargo capacity. And we're actually going an extra 2 cargo capacity for the construction robots, which is only really useful for actually deleting stuff, but it's still nice. It's still nice to have. And we actually have, by putting this extra bunch out here, we've actually halved our total copper ore being created, but whatever, that'll be fine. So we're going to finish it off now, and part of me just wants to let the base run for like 10 hours in between streams so we can just get stuff done, but we're not going to do too much of that. We're just going to let it run in the background, and we're still getting stuff moved over. The logistics, why are the logistics robots not taking any of that stuff? What are all my logistics robots doing? You got 5,000 of them. What are they all doing? Looks like they're all moving incredibly massive amounts of wood into all of here. And all the wood that they're moving over is just wood that we had in here. So this used to have like 24k. Now it's down to 6.6. So, yeah, okay. Fair enough. How much wood do we have? Only 4.1k left in the network. That's fine. Maybe once they completely run out of wood in the logistics network, then I'll start them deleting trees. But that'll be the construction robots that need to do all that. So that'll wait until at least these solar is done and the red belts are done and stuff like that. But after that, we can start sending them off to destroy massive amount of trees. But I'll give them a nice break in the middle so we can actually get some robots started on upgrading. Get everything up to level 2 and then we'll see how we go. But power is looking decent again. We've stopped having to knock the steam engines up, which is nice. So yeah, all right. I have like the longest endings. I say we go about to finish and then I talk for another 20 minutes. So we're definitely about to finish once I get this research queued up. And once we check to see if we've actually got purple. Still waiting on iron. Still waiting. Well, we upgraded that station. We definitely upgraded that station. Yeah, alright. There's going to be lots of upgrades, which makes it all the more important for us to get this process making tons of belts. But it's all a big circle of life at the moment where everything is just falling over and being crap. And I have a feeling, you know what we're going to do? You know what? This should actually be priority 80. All of these should be... I was doing it at some point. I was making every single mall station priority 80. And then I made some new stations. I forgot to do that. So we'll make these priority 80. Like, this should be prioritized over science. Absolutely, 100%. Because otherwise you got to prioritize them all over science. Otherwise you end up in one of these weird situations that we're in right now. We don't have enough brass because we don't have enough red belts and blah, 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 blah. And so on and so forth. And then we need inserters and blah, blah, blah. All right, so we're going to prioritize this one. Suddenly we've got a train heading over. Okay, beautiful. And we're going to need to remember to do this for the belt setup as well. Make that a higher priority. So we can start to do that now. And yes, it's going to be another 20 minutes until we finish the video, but it is what it is. So Okay, and we'll just have to remember to do this later on. But that should fix up the shortage that we have of the inserters and should get everything back on track. All right, beautiful. I'm going to sign off now, and next episode, come back. We're going to do belts, and then we're going to do yellow science. And we'll have to figure out exactly what we need to do yellow science, but yeah. We'll figure it out. I mean, lithium, titanium, gold, blue circuits, whole lot of fun stuff. And we have actually, I'm not sure if we've unlocked all of the new, looks like we have titanium, gold, cobaltite, uranium, and thorium. So the first three, well, the first two will definitely need for science, and this one will probably need for other miscellaneous stuff. But anyway, finish it off now. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time.